right, who wants to hear about high-octane adventures and the latest and greatest on the motor scene? It's time to rev it up with John and Jess on Joy 1340.
Welcome back to John and Jess, rev it up!
Coming at you at Joy 1340 AM and 98.7 FM. That was fun.
All right, well, that was Justin, our director, that was kind of doing the Jess commentary.
The voiceover.
Yeah, what did he say? He said with John and Jess was rev it up. It was
The rev it up, yeah.
So he said it, even though the guy that we put in charge of all this said the whole name of the show backwards. Hey, it's great.
I love it. It works.
It works. Well,
speaking of voices.
Yes, we're excited about this one because obviously what's coming up is the great Autorama circuit. World of Wheels is coming up. And it's obviously all over the country. Everybody knows. We were kind of talking a little bit about this before. And we had a great chance. Apparently we were kind of rambling off and talking like we always do.
You ramble?
Me, I was rambling, and I said about how great the pinstripers are. At World of Wheels.
The Pinstripe Legends.
And we actually had George Zegel, I believe his name is, reach out to us on email.
Yep.
And from Pinstripe Legends that are celebrating 20 years this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they are looking at a goal to raise $1 million this year. So we actually have on the air, Jess, who's our special guest?
Morgan McArthur, who's the voice of the Pinstripe Legends. He's a board member, an artist, and the auctioneer. Welcome, Morgan.
It is fantastic to be with you guys today.
Good morning, sir. It's an honor to have you.
Look, it's after an opening like that, a little bit of a shake, rattle, and roll. Here we go.
Gets you going in the morning.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. So tell us, give us the lowdown. Tell us how this all started and what your take is on it.
Yep. So this is the 20th year, and it's a gathering. Pinstripe Legends was formed. It spun out of. Sign painters had been doing sort of community gatherings for several years. They called them letterheads meets. And there are several of our artist friends who have a foot in both camps, in the pinstriping camp and the hand lettering, sign writing camp. And they looked at that model and said, you know what, we should do this for pinstripers. And we should do it so that people come together and recharge their creative batteries. They should be able to come together and show the world this fantastic art form. And we should come together for a powerful cause. And so in Milwaukee, the Pinstripe Legends was formed, and the charity was, from the get-go, Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, which today they've rebranded and they call it Children's Wisconsin, but it's the same big building, the same fantastic pediatric hospital, and the same cause that we've got. And so that was started 20 years ago. Three guys were really the core of it. Ray Dre, who was the chief stylist at Harley and now retired. Barry Quackenbush, who's a sign painter in Brookfield, Wisconsin. And Dave Jeffrey, another sign painter from down in Delavan. These guys put their heads together, organized this thing, and got it going. And over the years, we gather typically 60 to 80 artists who come and donate their time, their talent, their travel. I mean, they come on their own nickel.
Yeah.
Nobody gets a backhander on this deal. They come for the joy of being together. They come for the joy of knowing that every nickel that's raised goes to children's. And it's a very magic sort of cocktail of enthusiasm, of talent. Egos get left at the door. It's really pretty special. I've only been hanging around with these guys for the last dozen years or so, and I'm just swept up by it. I love it.
So basically, it's a group of artists that are dedicated to recognizing pinstriping as a fine art form. And from what I read, the Pinstripe Legends has raised over $750,000 to date. And you guys are...
Oh, Jess, let's change that number.
Oh, you did?
Oh, there we go. Somebody's doing it over.
Yeah. So our cumulative total to date, right, coming into this year's show, the cumulative total now is $918,000.
Yes!
918. In a spectacular year, and it would have to be a spectacular year, we would crest $1 million.
Well, that's what we're shooting for.
And it's really interesting because in the early days, we would hand children a check. This is an interesting story. We would hand children a check, and everybody feels really, really good about that. But one year the board met at the hospital. We were in the foyer of the hospital itself, and we were waiting for one or two of our members, and our liaison, our handler from Children's, saw that our attention was fixated on a dog that had walked through the door. Now, a dog in the hospital, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. And she didn't bat an eye. She said, "Oh, look, that's pet therapy."
Yes.
She said, we do pet therapy, we do music therapy, we do dance therapy, and we do art therapy. And she said, we can't reimburse those therapy modalities through insurance. We can't bill insurance for that, but we do it anyway because we know it works. Mm-hmm. And so all of the artists on the board looked at each other, and it was unspoken. That's where our money is going to go. Mm-hmm. And so for the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, our money has been put in a pipeline that goes directly to the art therapy program, because we as artists know how good it is for us, how important it is for us.
Yes.
And so that we can transfer that to the kids is a very, very special feeling. And a couple of us have had an opportunity to go up and actually paint with the kids.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Special events, and that is just a thrill. You know, it's a heartbreaking thing to see a kid come down in a hospital gown and pushing an IV pole, kids that have lost their hair, all of that. You know, that picture is one that you'll never forget. But to see them light up when they're slinging paint around, and for us to be in consultation and collaboration with these kids, unforgettable.
If I may,
unforgettable.
If I may, I'm just going to tell everybody what the art therapy program entails. Through Children's Wisconsin, it's open to ages 2 years to adult. The art therapists support kids and families receiving inpatient care on the main campus. Art therapy supports patients and families in a number of ways, including coping with a new diagnosis, nonverbal expression, alleviating stress, anxiety, depression, promotes self-expression and insight related to injury or illness, promotes autonomy and control through the creative process, development of coping skills, promoting motor movement, post-injury or illness, non-pharmacological symptom management, and supporting families through end of life.
Wow. Yeah, it's a big package, and it's all of us. You know, as humans, you talk to anybody and you say, "Oh, you're an artist," and they'll say, "Oh, I'm not an artist. I can't draw." Well, you know what? Visual art is only one form of artistic expression. We all have the creative impulse in us, and to feel the freedom to just do, just do.
Yes.
And one time we were in the hospital doing, they call it Art in the Plaza, where kids can come voluntarily from their rooms, come down for a set period and paint. And there was a little guy that came down, red-headed kid, and sort of a gap tooth, right? He's missing a front tooth. Mm-hmm. And he is slinging red paint. I mean, he is going for it.
That's so great.
Quite honestly, it was crazy stuff. And the art therapist came by and she said, "Hey," she said, "that's really good." She said, "That's fantastic." And he said, "I didn't think I was an artist." He says, but I guess I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
And
everybody's an artist.
His mom was hovering. She was hovering right there. And she shared later on, she said, "You know what? He didn't want to come out of the room. He didn't want to come out today, and now he's a different kid."
That's awesome.
Exactly what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Now, do you ever have, as far as the kids, do you ever have any of the kids that are able to take a visit to any of these shows, like the World of Wheels Ring and stuff in Milwaukee, or is that even possible?
Well, that's kind of depends on their condition and whatnot. Yeah. This year we're going to have several of the art therapists come and pay a visit.
Oh.
And we've had, there's nobody in the Milwaukee area that hasn't either been directly touched or we know somebody who's been touched by the magic of this hospital. Mm-hmm. It's nationally ranked, and it's my wife works for Waukesha Memorial Hospital in their administration, and she says, "You know what? Most of us have no clue what a treasure, what a gift, what a resource that we have in our backyard in Children's."
To be honest, I didn't know. I didn't know till you guys reached out more in detail. I looked it up and I was like, wow, this is an under recognized program, I feel.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, the whole hospital, right? So I mean, miracles happen every day.
Yes.
Miracles happen in that place every day, and it's a privilege to be able to interact with them and to support them. It's just so cool.
I think when, I obviously I've been watching you guys do this at World of Wheels for a while, and I think the one year when I started my own show, the Motor Mania show, and we had a big display there, and we were pretty close to you guys at the Pinstripers there, and we got involved, and you guys did a piece for me that a friend of mine, Stephen Fry, did for a front end of a truck, and we put, you guys did some pinstriping, and we auctioned it off and said, I think we even put like Motor Mania Roadhouse because that was part of our display at the time. And you guys did it, and that is really the first time. I mean, I've watched it, I've seen it go through, and I know it's for children and everything like that, but it really isn't that pay much attention to it. And then I got to talk with you guys all afternoon, all Saturday, and I was with you guys all weekend. And then I really got to sit down and talk with a couple of guys there. And then, of course, I stayed at the hotel across the street, and a lot of pinstripers were at the hotel across the street. And it was with Bruce Tachita, the one who made the main organizer of the event there, and then Dale, of course. And then, of course, you got Doc, the announcer. And we just had a couple of drinks with you guys on Saturday night. I believe Danny Coker was there, and I don't know if Kindig was there. I'm not even sure. But I was just blown away about what you guys did. I was just in shock by in that room because you guys had a little room off to the side in the hotel there, a little meeting room. And from there, I was just hooked. I just couldn't believe, like Jess is saying, it's the most unreal. I don't think it's there to recognize or, I guess, give credit to what you guys actually do. Of what's there. People are like, yeah, it's just an auction. I'll buy a piece and I'll go home, But I think it's really neat. It's just, I'm just blown away, and I have so much credit and props to you and respect to what you guys do.
And people need to understand that art therapy, the therapist training is really intense. I mean, they require a master's degree for entry-level practice, and then there's additional coursework, practicum, and internships. So fundraising is extremely imperative in this instance.
Yeah, and I mean the numbers that, like you just said, when Jess gave me the numbers. When I first got the email about this, and I shared it with Jess, and you said that you guys were actually looking at the $1 million mark, and the numbers, I know sometimes when I get there, I get a little crazy, and the next thing you know, I'm like at an auction, what Jess always says about doing stuff. But this is obviously a charity, and next thing you know, I'm spending $1,000 or $2,000 for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's really, really neat. And sometimes, I think I don't know if it was it was last year, because we had the Jeeps there for counting cars, and we did a piece, and I don't know who it was, but a guy brought a couple pieces, and this one little girl was looking at it, and he spent, I don't know, $700-800, and he gave it to the little girl next to him.
Really?
That was really cool. It was really, it's just really, you see so many great things at that auction. It's just, I love it. It's great.
So there is at least one live auction daily. Is that correct, Morgan?
Yep. So there will be one on Friday. There will be 2 on Saturday.
Okay.
And 2 on Sunday. So there are 5 total in the weekend.
And is it cash only?
Nope. It's credit cards, cash.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yep.
And then, as John said, is it still the same that people can bring in their own items to be pinstriped by the artists?
Yep. It doesn't happen much, and it's kind of on an as requested basis. But
sure.
But it does happen. Sure.
Okay.
And sometimes people want something personalized, or the really neat thing about this show is the assemblage of talent is extraordinary. Mm-hmm. And this year being the 20th year, every year we give a Lifetime Achievement Award to an artist who, through a really pretty rigorous vetting process, we judge somebody to be an innovator and a perpetuator. Mm-hmm. And this year, we're assembling maybe 15 of the 20 past Lifetime Achievement Award winners. So the assemblage of talent and the quality of the artwork will be like it's never been before.
I'm sure.
And so it's just going to be, it's a level above what we typically have, because this cadre of fantastic artists are coming together, and everybody loves being together. And it's like one of those celebrity guitar jams. Everybody gets to play a little solo, and to watch what other people are doing, and then you go away and you go, oh, I'm going to try that. And everybody comes away inspired. So you, as the observing, buying public, get to see this exquisite work.
Okay.
But the artists are just fired up. This fire burns for 12 months. You ignite in February for a 3-day weekend. You go away and you're just burning up.
Yeah.
And you can't wait until the next year.
That is so great. I mean, Jess she was just kind of, we're looking at our information sheets here. And your Lifetime Achievement Award, you actually have the 2023 is Hot Rod Jennifer Thomas.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
I was letting Jess take the lead on that one. I'm like, I got to know about this. So tell us about her.
A lot of times the Lifetime Achievement Award winners are at the far end of the arc, right? They've been doing it for a long, long time. They've established a reputation. They maybe appear in the trade magazines. They're well known within the community. And Hot Rod Jen is a young woman out of Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. She's a left-handed artist, which is an additional level of challenge for a pinstriper or a letterer. But she is just an exquisite talent. And, when we shared with the artist community that this year Hot Rod Jen is receiving the award, it was just nods of approval. It's just like, oh, yeah. She has got a lot of YouTube presence. Oh. She's happy to teach. She's happy to show example. And the quality of her work is just exquisite.
So now for that, is there a nomination and voting process, or how does one achieve the Lifetime Achievement Award?
We will reach out to past Lifetime Achievement Award winners and say, hey, who do you think? And we as a board will have our own ideas. And so we'll lay out these names, and then we hold them up to a standard, a voting process, and we tabulate votes and have a big discussion around the table. And until we get consensus, that's how it rolls. And so it's not just a pun intended, good old boys club. Of course, in this case, it's a female, and she'll be about the third or fourth woman in the 20 years that we've done this that has received the award. So we're not gender benders. We want it to be equal here.
That's a good one. I like that gender bender thing. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Look, the work that she turns out is extraordinary. She's had work in galleries, so there you go.
Okay, and the other thing too, I think a lot of people should realize they think the pinstriping thing, they just think it's an old lost hot rod art, that it's a bunch of basically old guys that they would see pinstriping back in the day. Everybody thinks of Barris or Winfield and all these guys doing stuff, but the thing is that you guys actually have a lot of young artists lately that always come aboard.
Well, who can't get infected by it, right? You look at it, and first of all, you look at that and say, that's humanly impossible.
It's mesmerizing.
It's really neat.
Yeah. It's a skill, right? So any skill, whether it's musicianship or auctioneering or penmanship, whatever it is, you break things down into usable, digestible components, and then you can practice that, and there's a hell of a lot of practice here.
Yeah.
And then you roll. And modern pinstriping, as we know it, hot rod, motorcycle pinstriping, really started to, blossom in the 50s. But true story, there's evidence of pinstriping in Roman chariots, right? So humans just can't leave something unembellished. Stagecoaches, carriages. Look at some of these old safes from the Old West, and from I looked at a safe the other day that's got some exquisite pinstriping on it.
Now, you said about the Roman...
art form's been around for a long time.
The Roman chariots, now, is that, because that's kind of a little history thing, is that true that's where the Roman chariots, is that where the gold leafing started, because they had the crowns and everything, not the crowns, but, the leaves, but they had on the chariots all the time. Didn't they do a lot of gold leafing back then? They melted and put it on the chariots on the side?
I couldn't answer that.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a Baraboo guy. I grew up in Baraboo, and so we got this thing up there. And
I just like the history of the stuff.
And the gold leafing and the striping that went on those wagons is just.
I'm going to look it up because now I want to see it.
It's pretty neat. One thing I want to make sure I mention here as we're getting close to the end here, but one thing I want to make sure is that the one thing that you guys do, there's setup is Wednesday and Thursday, and most of you guys are set up there already. What they do is when you walk through the World of Wheels, you can see everybody's their plaque by their car that's being judged. These guys do a lot of you take your plaque, you put your car in the show and for judging. And what these guys will do, they actually put your name and your description of the car. They'll pinstripe it on your plaque for you. They do it.
Pinstripe Legends.
So
Yep.
the car show plaques are.
The car show plaques.
We got a lot of requests for that because
Yep.
we've got guys who are very handy with the lettering brush,
Yep.
and so that's been a tremendous fundraiser to support children. So to get your plaque hand lettered by somebody in the Pinstripe Legends compound is $50.
Yep.
But then it becomes a keepsake. You know, it's been done by hand, and that's the magic part of this is that you actually get to meet the artist, you get to watch them work, and you can see that it's real paint coming off a real brush and coming out of a human head through a human hand. It's just extraordinary.
For $50, I think that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah,
that's it.
Take my money.
But at 50, we're going to get $50. Now 75, we're going to get 75. Now $100.
You got me. I was going to ask you if you'd have an auctioneer's voice. I was waiting.
We're waiting. Right? Oh God, he's great. Yeah, I knew it was coming pretty soon.
Can you do me a favor, Morgan? If we were going to put John up for auction on a dating website, could you
There's no
do
limit.
a spiel for that?
We could do it. We could roll with it. You bet. Of course.
Are you asking him like to do a little preview of it right now?
Yeah, I wanted to do a preview of it right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he's an untouched specimen. Here we go. He is one of a kind, that's for sure, John Bagley. What do you get? $2,000 on it. What do you get? $2,000 now, 25. 2025, give me a $50 bill, now 20,050. Here we go.
That is
too much fun.
Great. I love it. Thank you for making my day just now. That was awesome.
And just so everybody knows, did you ever notice that Justin not bid once?
I was amazed at the high starting price.
Justin, our director's in the other room. I see a couple $100 in his hand right now. You know,
Well, there you go.
He's ready to go.
Oh, that's great.
We're really looking forward to hanging out with you guys at World of Wheels over the weekend here, and of course, they're going to be there. Jess, what are the dates for World of Wheels this year? February.
Excuse me. February 24th and 26th at the World of Wheels at the State Fair Park. The hours are Friday, like 3 to 9, Saturday 10 to 9, and Sunday 10 to 6. The auction times, Morgan already did cover that. If you wanted to check out the Pinstripe Legends, Morgan, where can they find you?
Well, just wander around the compound in there. We've got a big footprint at it's on the south side of the big room in there. And you'll see our sign, Pinstripe Legends. There's a stage there where we conduct the auction. And then behind it are the easels where the artists are working, and you can wander through. So it's not like a zoo, you know, there's no barrier there. You can wander through and actually talk to the artists, and I encourage people to do so. Hey,
it's really neat. Yeah.
What is it that you like about the art, and how do you get started, and how do you do that? And yeah, it's a great place to interact with the artist, interact with the art, and take some home with you.
That's awesome. And for those that want to check them out online, you can find them at pinstripelegends.com.
And I think I think Saturday. Are you going to help them out Saturday night a little bit? You will.
I'll jump in.
Just jump in. Now, just so you know, I just want to put it out there. So, Morgan, don't let her hold anything like real valuable.
True.
She might trip you. So if you just want to
make sure it's metal,
have her do the Vanna White and just stand by one thing, she's really good at doing that. I just don't want to.
Well, you know, the origins of pinstriping, where there were dings and dents in cars, the origins of modern sort of hot rod pinstriping, where there were dings and dents in a car.
Okay.
Rather than do body work, let's just cover it up with some pinstriping.
So I'm good.
Well,
I'm covered.
You're going to fit in just great.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to help him make that $1 million mark.
Oh yeah, you definitely will. And for everybody, for everybody else that's going to World of Wheels, they know we always talk about it. But if regular tickets at the door are $18 and $6 for the kids, discount is always at O'Reilly's, one of their great sponsors, and one of ours also. I think 16 at O'Reilly's and 5 at the kids there.
I have to tell you that I'm broadcasting live today from the Wisconsin Auctioneers Association convention. I've become a licensed auctioneer to do this work. And this year, I'm thrilled that my auctioneer mentor and good friend and 2019 Wisconsin State Auctioneer Champion Jenny Gale will be helping with the auction. So you've got the art, you've got the artist, you got the cause, and you got this fireball of an auctioneer who's going to help me out. And she just came and sat down next to me. This is just a thrill.
Hi, Jenny.
Can't get any better than this.
Is she there? Can she say hi real quick?
Yep.
Can she do a little auction bit yet?
Hang on. Yep. Okay. I'll put her on. So we're talking to a radio station live, Jen Gale, and I just told him that you are going to help with the World of Wheels auction, and our friends are saying, give us a little blast of your auction chant, Jenny.
Oh, my.
No pressure, though.
Okay.
Well, Morgan
just help you out with that. How about this? We'll go there. We'll get $250. Now buy. We'll get $5. We'll get $750. $1,000. $1,100. We'll get $12. We'll get $12. We'll get $1,200. There. We'll get $1,300. $1,400. $1,400. We'll get $1,500. One more time. $1,500. There. We'll get $1,500. Anybody else? $1,500. Last call. $1,500. Sold to you, Morgan. $1,400.
That is awesome. That is definitely a talent.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Some of that and much, much more. The thrills keep coming. You won't sleep for weeks. Jenny Gale, it's a Pinstripe Legend.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thanks, everybody, for being on the air with us, and thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
you.
thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
All right, well, you sound pretty excited for that, huh?
I'm totally excited.
Oh, Justin, you got to hang up on there. Oh, no, we did it. Okay. You excited for the weekend?
Yeah.
It's going to be great, eh? Mm-hmm. So we got to do...
I'm like ready to get up and go now.
You ready to go now?
Right now.
I can see you on the stage up there. Are you going to try to be auctioneer?
It's going to be like borderline harassment. You need to buy this. It's a great cause, but you need to buy. Why aren't you buying it?
digging in people's wallets and stuff over there.
Like, you need some help with that? I'll help you out.
Oh, we'll definitely make sure. We might make sure we get Mike over there to throw a bunch of money over there or something like that. Be like, yeah, just come on, Mike. It's no big deal, you know?
What, you?
Me? Oh, yeah, I will. You're going to tell me to buy some at auctioneer.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Got to run.
All right, bye.